when did you hear that there was a world champion of public speaking, and what attracted you to that? Was it an initial confidence thing of, oh, I'm going to be the best at this thing, or was it, I'm just going to, maybe this is something I can do, and then you start building it up from there? What was that story of becoming the world championship of public speaking?
Right. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I had been working for a U.S. senator, giving talks around for him. And I don't remember now if I heard about Toastmasters while I was there with this idea that, oh, you can go become a better communicator in representing a politician or a political individual. Or I left that office and I went over and started a financial services business. I was going to be doing financial planning and money management for individuals. And I was awful at this coming in. And I remember my first pitch, I sat down next to the guy and he gave me a couple of objections and I thought they were stupid. And so my voice raised and I kept saying, well, no. To the point his business partner walked by outside and ducked in and said, man, that's the hardest sell I've ever heard. And I thought, I don't want to be that guy. What? So I gave a practice pitch to a friend of mine and he said, Mike, you're awful.
Wow.
And he said, there's a great Toastmaster group here. It's a lot of professional speakers. They're all trying to raise their craft. You ought to go visit them. They meet at noon. I went over there to that meeting, and it was people who were making their living by delivering messages. And I got involved. They gave me great feedback. I was moving toward building a business. Mm-hmm. And then one of the guys who was there, who had done the contest many times, they said something about the international speech contest or world champion of public speaking, and I said, well, what is that? So they told me that at that time it was about maybe 10,000 around the world, mostly in the United States, joined the speech contest, and they worked on one speech all the way, and then they crowned a champion that won in a final. And that sounded a lot of fun. It sounded like I could really get a lot of feedback back and work on speaking. So I threw my hat in the ring at the first club contest and started that path. To your question, I did have in my mind, I thought, oh, there's a world championship? All right, I want to win it. Mm-hmm. That went away years later, and that's a different mindset story. But early on, I thought, yeah, I want to be world champion of public speaking. And I didn't.
How much do you think that setting that big goal, how important is that versus, like, some people will say, and I'm kind of in this camp, you need to set a big goal, a specific goal, because as you're moving towards that, there's just a massive amount of motivation. And then some people will say, no, just focus on what you're doing now. Focus on just the short term, the gradual build up. And maybe going bigger than just the World Championship, what do you think that importance is in terms of goal setting?
It is a really great question. I'm actually trying to do some original research with some in the Texas A&M system and in the University of Texas system, psychology professors and business HR professors on that, because my story along that line is I had Zig Ziglar tapes running. My mom got me these Zig Ziglar tapes. So when I was maybe late elementary school through high school, I almost had all those memorized. It was see you at the top, and if you believe it and conceive it, you can achieve it, or anything. So I was very much big goal oriented. But I wonder if it doesn't run down the lines of personality style, because in the DISC personality style exam, I'm both a D and an I. So there's a part of me that is very hard driving, the D. The I loves to have fun, loves human connection and engaging with individuals. So in my own person, whenever I was going toward that goal, this is a little counterintuitive to what a lot of us hear, but for me, the big goal got in the way. Whenever I would be getting closer to it, I could feel in my body the nervousness of what if it doesn't happen, or I feel it coming, and the fear would rise up. I don't think I ever self-sabotaged, but I would get on stage as I went further in the contest, and my nervousness would become apparent because I was getting closer to that goal, and the intensity and the stakes were rising. And so I spent probably 15, 20 years getting close but never making that, and the discouragement each time would cycle back around of the failure, and negative messages start coming in. Mine's an odd story, and I believe that it may be that non-D personality style part of me, that it wasn't until I decided, that's okay, I don't care about the big goal. I'm going to move in the direction of the World Championship of Public Speaking every year, but I don't care about it. All I care about is giving the best speech that I can right now. And I believe that there is one individual out there who is designed by the Creator to hear this message the way I am going to give it. And I would just, whoever the Creator is, whatever the Creator is, I would just pray each time, would you just give me the message, just focus on that one individual, that person's life would be changed, and that's it. And I just forgot about the results. I quit caring about the results. And that's when I won.
Wow.
Because then in the finals of the World Championship of Public Speaking, it was just one more contest. It was just one more opportunity to give that speech the last time. And then I started looking around, and it's like Nick Saban, and in the program, he runs the same kind of mindset with the University of Alabama football team. They come in at the very beginning of the season, and even when they're going to the national championship, they say, we're not focused on the national championship. We're not worried about winning a national championship. We're focused on this game, this play, this moment, and being our very best right there. So I think, like I said, it's a half-baked idea, and I'm trying to do some original research, but it's anecdotal, I guess I would say, but when I'm talking to groups and training, it seems like that D personality styles do great with the big, hairy, audacious goal. They run toward the bullets. They run toward the explosions. But think about this. The D personality style makes up 50% of leaders in our society, right? They make up 3% of our population.
Wow.
Which means that since teams and AI supported teams are winning these days, that Ds are leading a team that 88% to 97% of their team sees the world differently than the way they do. And then we begin to wonder why the services industry is having such a lack of innovation and productivity. Well, I believe there's somewhere in there about team alignment and personality style that Ds are speaking the language, the way they see the world, but their teams may not see the world that same way and are just too afraid to come up and say, your big, hairy, audacious goal, it scares the hell out of me. Because they want a promotion. They don't want to get fired. They don't want to. But there can be cohesion just with a slight tweaking of messaging for different people. So it's an unorthodox answer, but yeah, it worked for me. And when I really dig down, it seems like it works for a lot of individuals also.
Yeah, I think that's really comforting to, and maybe this goes into Stoicism, which we can talk about in a bit, but focusing on your input rather than the output, the goal of just, I'm going to give this speech, this meeting, this whatever, 100% of my effort, and I'm going to try to do that aligning the results with my big goals. But if you try to control the end result, there's going to be so much in that black box of what happens as you're doing it that I think it's a healthy way to look at doing anything, which is focusing on input rather than output, but keeping that in mind.